Hi, everyone.
Hello, everyone. And, it helps if I press the go live button.
You are not alone, Gerald. I have done this.
I
Yes.
have recorded an entire show without pressing live.
Oh, yeah. It's like, oh my gosh. So, everybody, welcome to A Laugh and Learn, where we talk about your perception is your reality. Today, we have Medium Betsy Palmer with us. We have Tanis from Twillo Lifestyle is here. Hello. I am Taro Stash. Yeah, I know it's awesome.
It's that mirror thing.
As always, this is for entertainment purposes only. Do not make decisions based upon what we say. Seek professional assistance, really. Please do the like, share, and subscribe things because it's free. Lets us know that you appreciate us. It lets YouTube know something. I don't know. So there you go. So anyhow, so yeah, thank you both for being here.
Well, thank you for having us.
Thank you. Thanks for hosting.
You're welcome. And this came about from our conversation, the last conversation we had about embracing our humanness.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the best chatters were talking about this, and it was like, well, we can make that happen.
We can, and we have.
Yes, we have.
And here we are.
Yes. This is reality. We're here talking about this.
Yeah.
So, anyhow.
Welcome to our reality.
Yes, welcome to our reality. Yes. Betsy, how are you doing?
I'm doing great today. Thank you so much, sir. How are you?
I'm doing very well. What about you, Tanis?
Awesome.
Good. We have some of the best chatters here, so let's say hi to some of those people. Joyful Journey snuck in very early, which is great. Tamsy Faye. Ooh, Medium Betsy Palmer's here. Got to watch that one.
Who's that?
Oh, no. Yeah. Don't know. And Willow Love is here. Good to see you.
Nice name, Willow.
What'd you say?
I said nice name, Willow.
Yes.
That's where Twillo comes from, right?
Yes.
That's from the willow tree. Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
Kaylee is here, Fogo Pogo, who was just on their first live ever on Sunday.
Oh, goodness.
Yep.
Congratulations.
Mm-hmm.
That was great. Hypnicity is here. Hello. And so there we go. Okay, we have Beth Aspazia Rising is here. Hello. Good to see everybody. Yeah, and Sydney Kitchell Williams is here. Good to see you.
Hi. I don't think I've met you before. Hi.
No, I don't think I have either.
Sydney, we have Betsy and Tanis are here. So, all of their Plucky Heroine is here. Good to see you. Beth is here. Rose Blue. Hi, Rose Blue.
Hello.
Teresa
Hi.
Ford.
Hi, Teresa.
And so Kathy Persons is here. Hello.
Hello.
Of course.
Oh.
That's me.
I should do that too.
So I'm like, oh, great.
My muggle friend that usually calls me as soon as the live goes on got on board early. She wanted to call me, so she did it earlier than she normally would have because she knew she would interrupt something.
Mm-hmm. Oh, there you go.
Awesome.
And Fogos, Kaylee said it was fun, the live.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
And
Nice.
Sylvia is here. Hello, Sylvia.
Hi, Sylvia.
Laughters. Oh, we've got those.
You're in the right
Oh,
place.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Does that mean we have to pull out props? I have props. We can pull out props.
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, we can. I mean, I'm never going to say no to props.
I only have my fan. I'm propless.
Oh, I got my fan is a prop.
Fan is a prop. There we go. Yes, and that's the one that Kaylee made.
Yep, this is the one Fogo Pogo made.
Yes.
Wow.
Personalized to me.
I love that.
Goodness.
Willow tree and all. See?
Yep.
Wow.
Oh gosh, yeah. Amanda
Beautiful work.
here. Teresa Ford. I honestly feel
Hi.
perception is our reality is the only thing we can truly control.
Yes, our perception.
Yes, yes.
Mhm.
Colleen Horton, good to see you. And who else did I miss? Did I say hi to Heather Caldwell? Hi, Heather.
Hi.
Hi, Flower Beauty. Flower Beauty Peacock Rainbow, good to see you. So today we're talking about this idea that perception is our reality. Your perception is your reality. Look at me, I'm pointing at people. Sorry, everybody. You know, and I wasn't doing that with tiny hands.
You
So-
weren't. I know.
I wasn't. It's so freaky. So like, I have a couple of quotes.
You have
Go ahead.
regular sized hands as well as tiny hands.
I do have regular size hands as well as tiny hands. They come in handy for doing things like dishes.
Yes.
Betsy, you're all right.
I am all right. No, I'm fine with tiny hands. I'm good. Sorry, I just got distracted. Somebody sent a message, and I'm like, oh shit! Oh, I should have responded to that a long time ago. Oops.
Yeah,
I have one of those in my inbox.
Yeah.
couple of those. Yes. And Flower Beauty Peacock Rainbow asked, "Are you guys still enjoying snow in your beautiful cities? Are you?"
We'd be in trouble. It's the end of the world as we know it.
I am.
Okay. We don't have any snow here, so it's and it's sunny, it's bright, so
We have much less snow than other years at this time, I have
Oh.
to say. And it's
Which
supposed to rain on Friday. So that's
We-
very unusual for us.
We actually do get snow here at the top of our volcano, but if I had snow in my neighborhood at sea level,
yeah, it'd be a problem.
There'd be
So-
something happening.
I was doing some research and I started to get overwhelmed and I thought, let's put up some quotes.
Mhm.
The first quote is from Douglas Adams. Everything you see or hear or experience in any way at all is specific to you. You create a universe by perceiving it. So everything in the universe you perceive is specific to you. Douglas Adams.
Mhm.
What do you think about that?
Your perception is your reality. It sums it up.
Yep. Yeah. And then the other one that I have is Anais Nin. We don't see things as they are. We see them as we are.
Yes.
love that one. Love that one.
Indeed.
Yep. Yeah. And I think what's important is as we do that, we need to keep growing and evolving.
Hmm.
So therefore our perceptions need to grow and evolve. And therefore our reality grows and evolves.
Mhm.
So
Well, and we're never the same person 2 days, right? Every day we learn something new. So every day we give it the opportunity to be perceived in a different way.
yes.
So we could have two identical experiences 2 days in a row and react or respond differently than we did the day before, simply because we are perceiving it differently.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Yes. Teresa Ford really loves the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. So,
Mhm.
and Plucky said, I fake it till I make it all the time.
Mhm.
So, I think this is an important thing. This is an interesting comment here because we can faking it till we make it does work. However, if I honestly know what I'm experiencing in the moment, I can work through that and get to where I want to be faster.
That's true.
So it's like, yeah,
It
allowing.
depends. I think it kind of depends what she means by that, because if you're faking it, meaning you're seeing yourself that way, as though you're already there,
Mhm.
then that's your perception. So it's your reality. So you can still present in an authentic way. But if it's that you're faking it and you know you're faking it and you're sort of going by the seat of your pants, and then
Yeah.
people can usually perceive that. So there's a bit of a difference, a subtle difference there that can make a difference how it's perceived, I think.
what resonates for me on that one is your motivations. Are you
Mhm.
faking it because of your authentic desire to present yourself to the universe as the being you desire to be recognized as, or are you faking it with a motivation to manipulate outcomes or situations?
Yeah, because that will be felt in the energy
Yes.
if that's the motivation.
And Plucky followed up. Thank you, Plucky. Is yes, exactly. Faking it, doing what I have to do to get where I need to be at that time.
That time. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I used to, I wrote a customer service training manual for libraries. And one of the things that we talked about is that when you're not feeling it, that you fake it till you make it, in the sense of you smile, uh, and shortly after that, your smiles are going to become more genuine. Your energy shifts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I think, what Teresa's referring to here in the next comment
Absolutely.
too,
yeah,
right?
a fake smile sets off the same chemicals in the brain as a real smile, as long as you understand why you're faking the smile. Yeah, yeah. See it and believe it. And
Mhm.
I agree, Nalani. That was a great distinction there. So, okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway, I don't think that's the discussion for the day.
That's for a different one. I do want to bring up that Beth said the Anais Nin's quote is taken from oh gosh,
The Talmud.
Talmudic?
The Talmud, isn't that a Bible for somebody?
Talmud.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Talmudic teaching. Yeah.
But it's so true. I mean, that's so good. So there's some other comments from the great chatters. Is it's like I better be perceiving better. I am perceiving dysfunctionally. How to fix that? What does your fans tell you, G, Betsy, and Tanis? So I am perceiving dysfunctionally.
Hmm.
Silvio, part of what I will say with that is it's really important with perception and reality to understand physically where you are. What is your body experiencing right now? And part of the research that I found is there, our body awareness affects our decisions. If you're hungry or you're not hungry, your decisions are going to be differently informed. So
Because being hangry is a thing.
yes, yes. I mean, and that idea of is also our feelings affect, our feeling bad makes things harder.
Mm-hmm.
That one caused me to go, okay.
That was part of some notes that came to me this morning, was about not beating yourself up along the way with this.
Yes.
With this conversation is to accept where you are, and
Yes.
as a medium, and talking about soul intentions for life paths, I would say that you are where you are for a specific reason, and that is specific to a lesson that is specific to your soul's intention, so that you're not in the wrong place. You're in the right place for the purpose your soul has outlined for this lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And to not be hard on yourself for not being in a different place, because if the other place was the perfect thing for you, you would be there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'd also invite you to look at why you feel it's dysfunctional, because we are exactly what Betsy was saying. We're in the perfect place at the perfect time, and we're perfectly imperfect. So we are perfect. So the dysfunctionality that you're talking about, I would invite you to look at that a little bit more and perhaps choose a different term for that.
Yeah. And I think it's also, I think part of what I found is in the research, it's like having other people around you makes things seem easier.
Mhm.
because you're part of a tribe. You're
Mhm.
part of a collective. And how many of us have like gone, oh, I like being around that person. Just being around them makes me feel happy. So I
Yeah,
think
and that's got a numerous things involved in it, right? Usually if
yes,
it's somebody that's a nice high vibration person, just being in the energy can
yeah,
be good. But there's also the perception of not being alone.
yes, absolutely. Well, and it's like part of the reason I keep showing up is I get to share space with all of you and all of you who are watching.
Mhm.
That makes a world of difference to me. So
Absolutely.
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, support systems are so important.
Absolutely.
And we've got a few more people who have come in. Vanessa S is driving.
Hey.
So keep your hands at what, 10 and 2 or 9 and 3 anyhow. And Sherry, Voices from the Swamp, is here. Hello.
Hey.
Hello, hello.
Recognize, acknowledge, investigate perceptions, and then nourish yourself.
Mm,
Yeah, I'll take that joyful journey. That is why we're
absolutely.
showing up. And okay, I'm gonna pause for a second. Other things that the two of you are wanting to share, because I've got some more comments starred that can help guide conversation. So I just want to pause there.
Well, I did Google the basic meaning of perception. Do we want to review that?
Go for it.
Mhm.
Okay. It originates from Latin and it breaks down to very simple: seize or understand. Um, Psychology calls this the neurophysiological processes, including memory, by which an organism becomes aware of and interprets external stimuli.
Mm,
Um, Discernment is similar to discernment, a way of regarding, understanding, or interpreting something, a mental impression. Intuitive understanding and insight, a state of being or process of becoming aware of something through the senses.
mhm.
So, there we are.
Yeah. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's about understanding or interacting with the external world.
Yeah, and interpreting the external world.
Yeah. Yeah.
I watched a couple of TED Talks yesterday just to kind of do a refresher. And the overriding thing is perception comes down to receiving information visually, or, it could be other senses, but let's just go for visual. Your eyes receive a stimulus, which creates a reaction in your nervous system. And those pathways of your nervous system are what create the story about what this is. And um, and for a lot of us, those stories are connected to coping mechanisms from childhood, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or for history also, but just it could be any point in life.
Mhm.
A lot of those knee-jerk responses for me that I am really trying to step away from. I would like to be able to pause and breathe and take a moment um, to process what I'm receiving and decide how I want to respond instead of the knee-jerk reaction, because I know that's stuff that's ingrained in me from a very, very long time ago
Mhm.
that worked for me at the time, but maybe not so much anymore. My ability to care for myself is different now.
I really appreciate how you said that, because they worked for you at the time. They
Mm.
don't anymore because you are different.
Mhm.
I think that's really impactful, because of the 30 people who are watching, there are 30 different ways to deal with a situation, and every single one of them works
For
at
them.
that time for them.
Yeah, yeah.
So, yeah.
And
Yeah.
another thing that I jotted down this morning that seemed to really kind of resonate for me this morning was the more tightly we hold our decision of the circumstance, we eliminate all other possibilities of experience. So Leo, Leo,
Yeah.
Leo, Leo, opinionated to the
Leo,
nth
Leo, Leo.
degree,
Are you
right?
both Leos?
Yeah, we're really close together too.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for me, my opinions were very important to me throughout my entire lifetime. So
Mhm.
when
Well,
I hold a decision about what this is and where this is going to lead to, means that I eliminate any other possible experience.
yeah. It's so limiting.
Yeah.
It's so limiting. Tanis, what do you want to say? Here.
Well, we were talking about this a little bit actually on Twillo Talk last night.
Mm-hmm.
You know, how the brain will make up a story based
Yes.
on our perceptions, right? And the brain is not, they're going to just make up something. It's not necessarily what we want it to make up. It's just going to make stuff up. So we were talking about how, you know, making sure we're tapping into the heart space so that our perception is coming from that as opposed to the story the brain is telling us.
Yes.
And we also talked about the reticular activating system, which
Uh-huh.
we had a show about. And so the more you're aware of something, the more that's going to come up for you. And I think that's relevant for today's topic as well.
It is so. I'm so glad you said that, because where we place our attention. Oh, wait a minute. I've got a banner for that. What you perceive, you receive.
Yes.
I have not gone back through and figured out who said that. Somebody said that. One of the best chatters is probably quoted a million times, but that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah. And where your attention goes, energy flows.
Yes.
Right. And so
It's true.
when we're flowing energy into something, because that's where our attention is, which is where our perception, that's what we're perceiving. So that's the attention that we're giving it. Then that's where we're going to create from.
Yes.
So it becomes your reality. And I think that's a big connection piece when we go from perception into your reality, is that sort of attention and energy
Yes.
fluctuating. Chills.
Yeah, that's so good. Well, and so, you know, I want to go back and I want to. For me, it's important that, you know, the thing that has stuck with me is this idea of I need to physically be aware of what my body is experiencing, because from a primal sense, that's what my body still operates on. We, you know, our physical bodies have not evolved past having to run from, you know, huge creatures who are going to, you know, for we are, you know, crunchy and good with ketchup sort of thing.
Yes.
So, and so this, you know, the reticular activating system, and also talking with Jen yesterday about human design and the centers.
Mm-hmm.
They're neither good nor bad. They just are.
Yeah.
And so
it's this that makes it good or bad.
Yes, it is this that makes it good or bad. And I think it was Michelle Marie Astrological Tarot who said something earlier about, you know, one of the best ways to really understand what you mean is to find things that disprove what you think is reality. And I hadn't thought about that before, in that sense of, oh, instead of finding all of the things that agree with us,
yes,
explore the things that are different.
Yeah. That helps you to open that perception up.
So true. So true. Okay, so I've got a whole bunch of things highlighted. So I do want to answer Candy's Soul and Soil, because the two of you are Leos.
Yes.
Hi, Candy. Hello, darling.
Candy is here. I am Western astrology. I am Scorpio, Cancer, True Sky. I am Libra, Gemini, which makes much more sense to me. So, okay.
Yeah. I think I'm Cancer in the True Sky.
Yeah. All right. Amanda Carroll said, I think it's important to acknowledge where we are. Fear is present, for example. Yep. So true, Amanda. And Yes, get a Snickers bar to avoid the hangry mood. I am not sponsored by Snickers. However, if they would like to sponsor me, I would be willing to talk. So, and
They're in the fridge waiting for me.
I knew I liked you. I knew I liked you. Yeah. Fake laugh will get you laughing at yourself. Happens every time. Well, and aren't there like laughing yoga or something like that?
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
So posturing with posturing into compassion.
Mhm.
This idea of that makes sense. Okay. You're perceiving based on where you are. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And you just got to know where you are, because if you're looking at a map and you don't know where you are, how are you going to get anywhere?
Yeah.
So okay.
To perceive progress, you have to be in one place and then another.
Yeah.
Right.
Meet me in the fridge, baby.
I think there's another Snickers comment too.
Snickers gang okay with me. Yes.
That's good. That's really good.
There you go. Tease, Betsy.
Apparently, it's popular.
Yes. Beth is a Leo in True Sky. Sometimes you have to admit there's much that you may not know.
Oh, the more I'm on this journey, the more I realize that I don't know anything.
Yes.
The more I learn, the more I don't know.
I say that all the time too. The longer I do this, the more I realize that I can't be sure of anything. My mind is too limited to understand the possibilities available.
Yeah. And you know, and I think isn't that there's so many philosophies that talk about that the more I'm here, the more I don't know.
Yeah.
And
yeah. I think the way I heard it first was the more I know, the less I know.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting is I have to be okay with not knowing that stuff.
Yeah.
And for me, that's been, you know, as it relates to perception is my reality.
Mm-hmm.
I have to get curious about what is my perception telling me about my reality. And then sometimes I slow down enough to go, is that the reality that I want? Because if that's not the reality that I want, what adjustments can I make? So
yeah.
So Teresa Ford says, I wear a necklace with 7 rings for the 7 sacred directions of north, south, east, west, Father Sky, Mother Earth, and center self. We are each the center of our own life and perception. It's really pretty.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. You have to step away from focusing on the minutia to see the bigger picture. That's my challenge. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
And Fatima is here.
Hey.
So
I spend a lot of time alone, so I can get pretty much lost within just everything in the world revolves around me. I can totally be there. I just spend so much time alone.
Well, you know, we can set up regular Zoom meetings and hang out.
We could.
Do all that. I mean, because that's the thing. I think that idea of community is significantly important, because you notice things that I don't notice.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes it beautiful for me. I mean, hang out with a musician in a city. And as an artist, I do this with Jeffrey. He hears the city. I see the city. And it informs our reality of our experience. And so it's like, ooh, wow.
And so you see, if I was there, I would feel the city.
Yep.
And that would bring another aspect. And then if you talk about it from your perspectives,
yes,
you create a more rounded few.
Yes. And intelligent people do this. They change their mind when new facts emerge.
Mhm.
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
That is so true. That is so true.
When I'm doing gratitude stuff, one of the things that I come back to over and over and over again is how grateful I am for having a mind that continually asks, or a being, a spirit that continually asks to deepen, to
Mhm.
just continue to go and go and go and go, and not just say, okay, this is enough, I'm done. Yeah, just to continually question. I feel like that is an amazing gift, to be always questioning.
Be a lifelong learner. And that's, I'm an HR consultant too, and that's actually something I look for in people
Yes.
when you're interviewing and stuff too. Are you a lifelong learner? Because that's important. Not only is it important for your personal development, but also in a business, right? That
Yes.
people are willing to learn.
Absolutely. And I have to say, the best chatters are really bringing it today.
Absolutely.
So, and it's like when you change your mind, you change your life.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go to some of the starred comments. Teresa Ford said, it seems like we were taught to notice where we're below average compared to others and not notice the areas where we're doing well. We're all on a sliding scale for all things, and skill levels vary.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Yep. And that's our schooling system. That's our the way our parents grew up. And so that's how they brought us up. It's all that programming.
Mm-hmm.
This was one of the talking points that I shared with Gerald before we came on. Awareness. Keep a running tab of all the things you do well throughout your day. Shine light on the things well done instead of the things where you always felt short. That because we are so conditioned to listen intently for the criticisms. It's a coping mechanism for safety, right? But how many of us have been taught to keep a running list of all the things that we were happy in the way we did them, if we felt we did enough, if we felt like we did it better than expected? Those things we are not taught to keep that tab
Yes.
open. And boy, does that make a difference during a day.
Yeah.
I actually invite my clients to start not only a gratitude journal, but to actually, with their gratitude journal, 3 things every day that you're grateful for, but also 3 things that you're proud of yourself for. And I make sure I tell them, like, this could just be that I remembered to brush my teeth before I left the house,
Yes.
or that I got out of bed. Like, it doesn't have to be huge accomplishments, but looking for those things that you feel good about that day. And it can make a big difference in your well-being.
Yep.
And you can break down the things you do well by, again, exactly those same things. I left my house, walked down the steps, and got in my car without falling down. I drove to work. I was considerate for other people. And yes, brushing my teeth, I was attentive and I went slowly. You can do this a lot, about a lot of things, and to give yourself credit for those things because you deserve it. Because face it, there's a lot of people out there that just don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm in case you see me doing this, it's because I'm looking at the great chat that's going on. So I'm like, okay, I gotta start that. Gotta start that. We will get to as many of those as we can. I think that idea, as somebody just said it. Patty D said, I always told my students to focus on their weakness and make it a strength.
Yes.
That is so true. I also, when I did training, to focus on stuff that you were okay at, you weren't great at, because if you're really good at something here, you're really not good at something here, and you've got all this stuff in the middle. If you focus on something that you're okay at, spend a little bit of time on it, it can then be a strength without so much work.
And that gives you that quick win to give you more confidence to attack the things that are less.
Yes.
And is the weakness something that you believe is a weakness, or is it something you've been taught to believe is a weakness?
Right.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do think we are fortunate enough, and I'm fortunate enough to have some instructors who saw in me a different way of thinking about things,
Mhm.
and they allowed me to develop that. And for those of you who are parents and you do that for your children, and by the way, you're always a parent, regardless of what
Oh,
your
yeah.
child says. Um, you're
Doesn't
all,
matter how old they are.
yeah, no matter
Mine
how
just
old
turned
they
25.
are. Yep, yep. So I mean, do that thing and just recognize what that child is doing, and it's like that's really impactful. So okay. Willow Love said someone can have the exact same thing happen to them as it did to me, but have a completely different experience from it. So it isn't what happens, but how we experience it.
Yeah.
Just ask siblings
Yeah.
about any situation, any family event, anything. Yeah. Just
That's
Yeah.
ask.
very true. Yeah.
Yeah. And we can also do face-to-face hangouts. Oh, yeah, Cherry's trying to get things going on. So yeah,
Perfect.
we can work on this. Yeah, three of coins. A true three of coins. How we all offer something. It's a cog. It's a wheel. It works.
Mhm.
And the comment above that, I actually have scrolled back to that one. I think this is absolutely.
Amanda Carroll, I would like to hear more about how none of these perceptions are good or bad, like Tana said.
Your perception is just your perception, right? So when we give something a value, that's what creates the value,
Yes.
right? If we can judge whether something is good or bad. And part of what happens for us is that the programming and everything that happens around us, society and all of that stuff, puts a value on us for things, right? So they say, if you do this, that's bad. And then we take it on like it's ours. And it might not be our perception that
Yes.
that is a bad thing to do, right? But we take on other people's perceptions or expectations and all of that kind of stuff as our own. So that's why, a big part of the spiritual journey for me was really like pulling this perception out when I realized that I'm judging myself or something. Pull the perception out and be like, okay, why am I judging myself? Is this truly how I feel? Or is this something that somebody's told me I should
Yes.
be feeling or experiencing or perceiving in this way? And so when we pull those out and we're like, yeah, that's not really what I feel. No, I don't really feel this is bad. Then we start to rediscover our own things. And that's kind of that whole deconstruction thing of the spiritual journey when we start down that path.
Yeah.
It is a pretty engrossing dance between, face it, human beings weren't designed to be solitary creatures because we're pretty fragile. We can't do everything we need to survive completely on our own and get by in certain periods of history. So we have this intense desire to join with others. And I think exactly what Tanis was talking about, there's our communities tell us the rights and wrongs, and we judge ourselves because we so desperately want to belong somewhere. And so it's that dance of being true to ourselves and finding out what is real for us and what is valuable for us, coexisting within our community. It's a very interesting dance.
Because also our perception of whether it's right or wrong doesn't need to be necessarily the deciding factor of whether we do something or not, right? So we can think, somebody can tell us to do that is really wrong. We can say, okay, well, I don't think I necessarily agree with that, but I'm going to respect what the community says or what this other person says because I want to coexist with this. And so it's as long as we're not doing the self-judgment piece in there, then that can help go a long way in making things flow a little easier.
Yeah. Amanda also said, so yeah, we are capable of examining our perceptions.
Mm-hmm. That's that self, what's the word I'm looking for?
Reflection.
Thank you. Yes.
You're welcome.
Self-reflection piece.
Woo!
Woohoo! Gerald for the win. Okay. Self-reflection. And that's one thing that humans have. You know, we have the ability to self-reflect.
Mhm.
And I think, you know, it's an important skill. And sometimes we're better at it than others. And the more we can sort of develop that, in the absence of self-judgment, because self-reflection can be that kind of a slippery slope. So we just have to be careful how much we're judging in that particular environment.
Yeah.
Hey.
Lots more people are coming in, and I do appreciate it. I'm scrolling.
So
Betsy, go ahead.
oh, no, let's check it out.
Betsy, to your point, I was raised an only child, didn't live with my step siblings, and I always miss having other perceptions. Hanged man.
Yeah.
Hanged man.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because my challenge is I tend to Leo. I tend to be so opinionated anyway that being out in the real world, in the three-dimensional world, is a challenge enough for me because I have unconventional belief systems compared to a vast number of people anyway. So for me to be able to dance and weave my way just through everyday conversations and things sometimes can be a real challenge. And I truly would have valued having better social skills in my youth because it impacts me pretty much on a daily basis. They're absolutely, but that's the hermit path, right? The hermit path, to always be questioning, to follow your own path. I try and make it warm and fuzzy to myself, as this is a lifetime of finding out what is true for me as a being, an energy that it will always be here. What's the word?
Soul?
No,
No.
you never die. What is it?
Oh, eternal.
Eternal being, right? What does it mean for me as eternal being to play in the three-dimensional world comfortably? And to be true to what I know in other realms of existences, how do I bring that forth in this lifetime?
Yeah. I think I have to agree with you in that point. I was an only child as well. And I think because I was outgoing, I know it's a surprise, but because I became outgoing in my teens, I had a lot of that feedback. So I've always had good friends to get that sort of the other perceptions. But I think if I had been more shy, like I was very shy when I was little, but I always had 2 or 3 really good friends that were very good at doing the perception thing, and I've always been one that needed to sort of talk things out with people.
Yeah.
And if you ask Jen, that's probably my design, but just saying.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
So.
also go ahead. You weren't finished.
No. Go ahead. Yeah.
Perception is your reality. Remember those pictures you used to look at? It's like, what do you see? Do you see a vase, or do you see 2 faces? Do you see a duck? Do you see a rabbit? Do you see a 6, or do you see a 9? And that is a great example of the importance of understanding that. It's like Teresa said here, my dad loved peanut butter and pickles sandwiches. I hate them. We're both right. Yeah. I mean, that's cool. So I think that idea, it's a great example of that, because the other person's perspective helps me form new ways of thinking.
Yes.
It also helps us to evolve as a spiritual being and as a human. So,
Yeah.
and Thomas from Tarot Your Way say others' perceptions of us can get stuck in what we project ourselves to be.
Yes.
#truth.
Yeah.
Very true. So, all right. Your perception of me is none of my business. Unless I ask, because I want to understand in the moment how people are experiencing me. And trust me, when you do that in a group of people in a therapy session, it's really eye-opening and can be quite challenging. So, but with a lot of support, that so,
That would be cool. I haven't done that before in a group. That would be really cool.
yeah. Joanne Mayhew is here. So, okay. Linda De Gonzalez is here. I was talking about you, Linda. We had a great show last week. So, such an interesting discussion and so valuable for light workers. That's a really good point.
Yeah, being a light worker or being an intuitive just adds another whole layer to this, right? Because it opens up the perceptions even more.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that it's fascinating.
Yeah. Hypnicity said, I was the youngest of 5. I was kind of an only child in my teens because my siblings moved out before I was an adult.
Right?
Yeah. So Laura Hammond Davis is here.
Hey.
And Sharon Sipe, you are working hard, lady. You don't have to work that hard. So, yeah, we did have an awesome show. Okay. Other thoughts that the two of you had? I still have 17 things starred. Again, best chatters. I should have expected
Absolutely.
the best chatters. So, but
one of the things about perception that I like to remind people all the time, because we get into a lot of conversations or may have experienced times out in public when it's like something goes awry or it's a challenge or something comes up for us, and in hindsight it may be upsetting. I'd like to remind people all the time that we get up every day and we step out the door and we walk out into the world to find things that solidify our perceptions. Not a whole lot of us walk out the door every single day going, I want to break loose of all my belief systems. I want the world to be new to me today. Not a whole lot of us do that.
That'd be pretty freeing, though.
Right, but
it's scary at the same time.
That most of us step out into the world every day looking for things that support our belief systems, and that's not a good or bad thing. And it's whatever, because we want to be comfortable, we want to feel self-assured, we want to feel safe, and so challenging our beliefs continually, maybe not so peace-filled all the time. So to just remind ourselves to cut people a little slack, when we encounter those surprise situations and things, people are just trying to support their perceptions.
Yeah.
For the most part.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. Like there was a comment earlier about, there's no such thing as good or bad, right? There's things aren't only good or only bad or some variation of good and bad. Things are just things.
Mm-hmm. But our mind will always try to put them together so that they make sense. That's part of what I do as a human being.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's that welcome to being a human thing again.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yes. So, I was looking, believe it or not, we're at 50 minutes in already.
I don't know where the time went.
I don't either. And that's fun for me.
Oh, hi, Terry. I didn't see Terry come in.
Terry is here.
Hi.
Plucky said a while ago, when you've run out of time for a feeling you've gotten used to believing in, love can run faster, but Robert Palmer, double fun.
And so that's a song lyric.
Yeah.
I believe it's a song lyric.
When you've run out of time for a feeling you've gotten used to believing in. Oh, well, that is a really interesting lyric.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So, Oh, here you go. Teresa Ford said, point being, you are all the perfect recipe for being you. Loving yourself and being yourself is your mission in life. Enjoy it.
I love that.
Sometimes that's hard to do.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't say that's an absolute. I think some soul intentions are to come into a life and not necessarily experience that. Just because I talk to dead people that have told me other things.
Okay.
True.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think there's that statement to me says that every single one of us has a soul intention of coming into this life and approving and loving yourself completely. And I think there's other deeper lessons about strife and other things that we come to immerse ourselves in, and loving yourself is not the intended outcome of that. Sorry. The medium soapbox. Can I have your box, Gerald? Thank you.
Soapbox.
That's my medium soapbox.
There you go.
No, I agree. We definitely have different lessons that we have to learn. I'm wondering if this is just a thought. If part of the lesson that we learn from us not loving ourselves with something that we've done is to work through that and accept ourselves, even if it's not a loving, if it's an accepting of self.
Yes. Yeah. Candy said something, rewriting the story. I think of it as mining for gold out of tough things to make them, to move them forward.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And recently, I think it was Jane from Jane the Secret Tarot had a new tarot deck, and they talked about the tower as now, it's all this rubble. Now it's time to go through that rubble to find the gems that are there. And I'm like, ooh, that's really important. So, and Beth said, Betsy, it can be dangerous when people form an unfounded opinion, often fear-based, and then perceive everything in a way that supports that. It's the opposite of critical thinking.
Yeah, yeah. And we see that a lot with a lot of things going on around the world, that there's a lot of people that hold deeply held belief systems from one type of system or another, whatever you want to call it. And yeah, it can be very fear-based, and they can be reacting on that intensity of that fear and endanger themselves and other people. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. But they don't get up in the morning to go out and bust that belief system. They need to reinforce that belief system out of because they feel safe and secure within it. I don't understand that. I don't know that I understand what that feels like completely. Look at this. I love it. But remember, for each and every one of those people over there that are holding on to that space, they're matched by someone else that's holding the opposite, right? So it's not out of balance.
Yeah.
And the world needs that balance, right? We need that. We need we need Tanis, and then we need an extremist, equal and opposite polarities to achieve the balance in the center.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. But the more we can perceive through the rose-colored heart glasses, the more comfortable we can be.
Well,
I tend to do the rose-colored glasses things a lot.
I am roseless over here.
You are not roseless.
No, you're not.
Internally, but
Internally.
at the moment.
I want to point out something that Willow Love said. My journey to self started when I read the book, The Four Agreements.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
It's so good. So, okay. So many other great things are in here. So, okay. You have to step away from focusing on the minutia. I already said that.
Yep.
Be willing to change your mind and when new facts emerge. The most successful people do that because then it's that community atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, because somebody has to be the one who able to go, who weaves it together. And I have to say, I'm going to venture a guess. In the past, it was the wise women who did that. It was the, the enlightened ones. They would be able to have this feeling and start to see things that others couldn't see.
Mm-hmm.
So, and yes, I did specifically say women because much more perceptive. So,
And the magic word willing, that strikes me because one of my best mentors ever was from Course in Miracles, who said, the whys and hows that's not our business. All that's required of us is a pin dot's worth of willingness.
Mm.
oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
I like
So-
the idea of remaining in wonder. Go ahead, Tanis.
Yeah, just the being willing to learn
Mhm.
is huge. Yeah.
Being willing to learn.
And
So,
explore new ideas.
yep. Okay. Betsy, that made me laugh that you didn't have rose-colored glasses, I think.
I think that's what it was.
So, yeah.
Amanda, is that a mic drop moment?
That a mic drop? That's a period. Boom.
That's the pin dot's worth of willingness.
Oh, there we go. There it is.
There you go.
Perfect.
That's good. So in the time that we have remaining, other things you would just want to say? I'm going to quickly leaf through my notes. And I know Betsy is muted currently because the landscapers has decided to show up.
Mm-hmm.
Trash truck making their rounds. He'll be back in just a minute.
Oh, trash truck. So you can get rid of some of the negative thinking that has been experiencing, some of the perceptions that are no longer serving you.
Yeah.
Get rid of that.
There you go. There you go.
Yes, those wise women got burned. Yes, they did.
They did.
Mhm.
You're right. They did, unfortunately. And they got, because people's perceptions and willingness to expand their understanding stopped expanding. Here you go. Life is too boring to stay in a box. Some boxes are nice. I like some boxes.
I have met some people that love their boxes.
Oh, yes.
I remember having a conversation once with a young woman who was so completely fulfilled and satisfied with being middle of the road, with having very little expectations, not asking a lot of questions. I mean, this was one happy individual, and she was so okay with everything about that. That was 30 something years ago. And to this day, I'm still envious of her.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Tanis, do you have any? Go ahead. Anybody have any thoughts? I'm going to take
my last thought in my notes was the devil trap. That plays a part in this conversation because, like I said, we're fragile beings. It's really easy for us to be unalived, whether through our own hand or someone else's or an unfortunate series of accidents. It's really easy for humans to be unalived. So in seeking that sense of safety and security, the devil can be a really seductive place.
Mm-hmm. It
Yeah.
can.
Yeah. And Beth said, perhaps that was her life to rest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody else said she was having a vacation lifetime.
Yeah.
Dude.
Or she's a cat.
Or she's a cat. Yes. Or she's a cat.
Maybe she had a past life as a cat. And so she's reliving it.
Hey guys, please me.
Yeah. And back to the, and Galileo's fate wasn't too good either. And when we think about that, I think sometimes it's important for us we have to understand from whence we come to make sure we're going to the right future. And when we get curious and we learn about things that are different from me, there's a lot of power in that.
Hmm.
Oh.
A lot of power. Go ahead, Betsy.
Well, has anybody noticed that a lot of those men that were outside the box, like Galileo and Michelangelo and all that, anybody else but me notice that those tend to be two-spirit people? Anybody else notice that? Because we're talking about women getting burned at the stake, but there's examples of men that were, didn't fare so well. Would anybody else notice they tended to be two-spirit?
Yeah.
Well, I think isn't that yes, that could be a whole nother conversation. I would love to have a conversation about the idea of the divine feminine and the divine masculine, just what that means. Because there's anyhow, stay tuned. Maybe that'll happen.
Yeah. Same bedtime.
I mean, so
Amanda says, and back to wonder and curiosity. Here we go.
Yes.
there you go. Yes. Yeah. Wonder and curiosity. Well, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
So
And Teresa says she's thankful we live in a time where we are unlikely to be burned for our thoughts. This is true.
yes.
Well, not physically, anyway.
Yeah, I was going to say we do have cancel culture, which is another whole topic on its own.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Liz and Awe is here. Hello, Liz. Good to see you. Okay. I was yeah, I think when we immerse ourselves, Native American cultures looked to two spirits for wisdom because they worked both worlds. They walked both worlds.
Yeah.
So, and here's something that's interesting. Is it gone? Oh God. I remember, diversity and inclusion and diversity awareness and inclusion is really very important. I remember 15 years ago taking some classes about diversity, and somebody gave me a really good, one of the teachers gave a really good idea is if you want to understand a culture that is different than yours, read a magazine.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, that is really, really very interesting. And I did that for a while because I was flipping through different stuff. And I was like, going, this is fascinating in that sense. And it helped me to also look at some of the magazines that I was looking at. And I'm like going, oh, good Lord, this is what they're telling people. That's not true. It's not true.
The funny thought that went through my head, being a galactic ambassador and all,
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if they have magazines.
Well,
Yeah.
and when can we get that delivered?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. Yeah. Agreement. I was in corporate management. That taught me a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And well, and let's face it, a lot of times our perception and our reality can be adjusted if we are just quiet and pay attention to what's going on.
Yeah. We have 2 ears and 1 mouth.
For a reason.
Mm-hmm.
So, how out of date are they?
The magazines? Yes. Oh, thanks, Liz.
Remember when you were young, you'd go to a friend's house, there would be Good Housekeeping that was like 4 years old on the coffee table. Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. But I remember, yeah. So I think, yeah, okay. I'm thinking about, what I'm doing is I'm remembering things in the past that made me feel very good, that gave me a burst of energy. And it's things like, I've seen it on social media. It's like, I'm still looking for the high of a Scholastic book sale at my middle school as an adult,
Yeah.
It's like, oh my gosh, that is so true. So,
Yes.
so.
And Liz in awe there, she says, inclusion. If you exclude anyone, you're also excluding me, as we are all one.
Yep. Oh, that's true.
Mm-hmm.
Paradigm shifts come in all shapes, sizes, colors, and flavors. Yes. And what shifts your paradigm may not shift mine, and vice versa.
Hmm. Triggers are different.
Yes. Well, yeah. I also think it's really yeah, that's
Me too.
Crystal Store, just like Scholastic Book Fair. So for
That's
those of
awesome.
you who are still watching, what's a takeaway that you've had from our conversation today? Your
Mhm.
perception is your reality. What's your takeaway? So, and I'm going to ask my amazing guests that same question. So, this is your perception is your reality. What are some takeaways?
It's a treasure trove.
Yeah.
It might be about the crystal store. They were both here
Well,
last night, so they were
and how was the soup, by the way?
very different.
Okay.
Each of the two were very different. The one made in ceremony and the one not. They were identical recipes. One was done in ceremony with love and some aqua-lead, and the other one was just done as a regular recipe. They were very different. They could have been different soups.
And I bet the one made in Circle tasted so much better.
It had a lot more zing and
Yep.
power oomph to it. Yeah.
Yep.
It was great.
Yeah. Amanda
So thank
Carroll,
you for that, Kaylee, for bringing that experiment. It was great.
Ooh, I love that.
Mhm.
Amanda Carroll said, celebrate the small stuff.
Yeah.
Hypnicity is everyone gets their own reality. There's enough reality for everybody.
Yep.
Colleen is, Calgon, take me away.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, and there's a joyful journey that she was here with the soup. So she says, yummy,
yes.
but different.
Yeah. And mom's love did make a difference.
Yeah. Definitely.
About mom's anxiety and depression.
It made a difference too, but in a different way.
But that's the important thing is that our intention and the energy that we have whilst we're doing something impacts.
It does.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So can I share my little
Yes.
I think I've done this before with you, but I don't know whether I've done it on the channel.
Yes.
Because that's all about perception, really.
I'm
right?
going to embiggen you and put you
Okay.
here so that you can do that. So
Okay. So I have a little experiment for all of you, okay? So chicken soup for the soul guy. What's his name again?
Canfield.
Canfield. Jack Canfield. So I saw him on a podcast when COVID started. And he did this for all these hundreds of people that were on there. So what I want you to do is I want you to look for those strong lines in your wrist on both sides. Okay? This is a little experiment. I'm going to show you how powerful we are. The strong lines on both wrists, I want you to match them up as closely as you can. Try and make them as exact as you can. And then I want you to put your hands together, putting them nice and close. And I want you to notice almost all of us have one hand that's shorter than the other because we're human. So I want you to notice that. And I want you to take the shorter hand when you see which one is closer or shorter. So I'm going to take my shorter hand and I'm going to put it up in front of me like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I want you to say 5 times with meaning. Grow longer, grow longer, grow longer, grow longer, grow longer.
Grow longer, grow longer, grow longer, grow longer, grow longer.
Okay. Now I want you to match those lines up again as close as you can and put them back together.
Same
That's
size.
your perception. How many of you noticed that the shorter one grew?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's how powerful we are. Our thoughts create our reality. Our intention creates our reality.
What?
Yep.
It grew.
Mhm.
Kaylee shared, my big thing is I can't beat myself up for something I've been programmed all my life to believe. It needs to be unlearned, but acted for how I knew at the time. But I acted for what I knew at the time.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that's where that self-acceptance, self-forgiveness comes in.
Yeah. Plucky shared, what we notice and learn about ourselves accelerates personal growth. Yeah.
See, almost everybody had the same experience.
There you go. There you go. And I'm hearing these people in
Yes, and they're like, "Oh my
I did. Wow, what a great exercise. Quarter.
How did that happen?"
So yeah.
That exercise is meant to empower you, because if you can make that much of a difference in the length of your fingers, think about how the way we perceive things can affect the rest of our life. I don't know. You could try. One of the first times I did this on a podcast, it was with a guy, and you can imagine where that conversation went.
Oh yeah.
So there you go. But I here, okay, so your perception is your reality.
Yeah.
It is what it is. You can believe us or not. I think don't believe me, don't believe us. Figure it out yourself. Test it out. If and there's lots of different ways to do that. Yes, Betsy.
My thing is, since our perception is our reality, spend a lot of time with yourself deciding what you truly do want in your life.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's very easy for us to get out in the world shuffling what we don't want, pushing it away. I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't know. But what do we want for ourselves? When you ask people that, it's like,
And I encourage people to do that on their own.
Yes. Figure
Away
out.
from other energies too, because you can be
Yes.
influenced just by energy.
Yes.
Figure it out what you truly do want your life to look like, because that is what you will design.
Yep. Candy said, I needed to hear this so much. Thank you. You're very welcome.
Very welcome. Yeah.
You're very welcome. Or speak to ourselves. Think about what all the negative self-talk would do to our vibration.
And your vibration, one negative thought brings your vibration down by 12 megahertz. So think about how many self-deprecating thoughts that we have, and how much good stuff we have to have, because the good thoughts bring our vibration up by 10. So we have to have lots more good thoughts than negative.
Yes. It's so silly when we cringe at our past selves. If we were not better now than we were before, that means we haven't been growing. No shame in growing, for F's sake. Well, and I think the Sisters of the Magical Tarot or something like that, tomorrow they're doing a conversation around the letter to their 40-year-old selves. And it's interesting. It's like, and by the way, I'm that guy who, yes, I look at Akashic Records. I can read past, present, and future. And one of those things is, what am I writing to my future self?
Yeah.
There's a lot of power in that. So
that's an exercise I think I'm going to try.
So
interesting.
And again, your perception is your reality. If all you can do is to look at one thing differently, do it. Just one thing differently. I mean, I don't know about you, but I don't want a lightning strike to change my entire world. I'm good with moving pebbles and sand.
Yep.
The thing is I have to keep showing up and being willing to look at my perception and my reality and think about them and go, okay, today we're doing this. Fully embrace it. So,
yeah.
Thank
Absolutely.
you, everybody, for being here. Oh my gosh, what do you have coming up next? Tanis, I'm going to start with you.
I have a Reiki one on the weekend on
Nice.
Saturday, so that's awesome.
I referenced somebody to you recently.
Oh, okay, cool.
So
thank you.
I said that they had asked me for Reiki teachers, and I'm like, I know of one. It's coming up, so there you go.
Yeah, it's Saturday. So Saturday, it is an 8-hour day, so 10 to 6 Eastern Standard. On Monday coming up, you're joining Jen and I I believe you have that in the calendar.
Yep.
Awesome. And that's for Twillo Talk, 5 p.m. on Monday. Yeah, so there's lots of stuff coming. We've got lots of great guests coming for Twillo Talk in the coming months. We've got new programs on the go and Aqualead classes and all sorts of stuff. So stay tuned. We've got we also have yoga now with Jacqueline Richards, the Wealthy Yogini. So she's offering 2 classes a week online live. So
nice.
one of them is hatha and the other, well, they're both hatha. One of them is floor, one of them is chair. Both hatha, but they can also, you can do both in each class. So
Nice.
So lots of fun.
Betsy, what do you got coming up?
On Saturday, Jonathan Daly and I are going to be doing Year of the Dragon readings with Shadow Reader and on Jonathan's channel. And then next week, Tuesday, I will be back with Gerald and Hershey, right?
Yes. Yes, very much. And Liz and Aw said, Tanis, your session and Reiki class has jumped me forward so much. Giving you the credit. Boom.
Thank you.
And I want to point this out. Candy said brick by brick. And I'm going to piggyback on something Candy said. We have to mine for those gold, because let's make them out of gold bricks instead of just bricks that are going to deteriorate. So later today, I have a back and forth with Jamie and Gerald. I have a deck casual with Heather on Thursday, and I'm doing readings with Richie on Friday, or we're talking about the Lunar New Year on Friday, and then I have yes/no questions on Friday as well. So, and so this is good.
I forgot one thing.
Yes.
We have a show that's going to be airing on Friday. It is an open mic. Ramsey and I, we were interviewing fascinating gentleman, Ishmael Metatron, and he is he's doing a lot of the Dolores Cannon stuff. And so it was a fascinating interview. So that'll be posted 7 p.m. on Friday. So stay tuned for that.
I'll see if I can lurk on that one.
I encourage everybody to, find your glimmers, because your glimmers and your gratitude practice do impact your perception and your reality. And thank you for watching. Maybe when we're done, we will figure out another time to get together and have fascinating conversations. So we will say goodbye to everybody. You take care. Bye.
Bye.